Remrov here. I'm a classic autist who makes these videos to educate about autism and to build a bridge in between the autistic and neurotypical world, and I hope to be a voice for non-verbal people with autism. In this video I want to talk more about adapting to your set of abilities, which is a very important thing. But first I want to give you a bit of an update about Pilaf, my little feathered friend. In a few videos ago I told you that Pilaf had a stroke. That's about 2 months ago, I think, something like that. And he's been recovering quite well right after that, but then he started to do a bit worse again, so we might think he might have had a second stroke, but since then he's doing better again, so that's quite good news. He still has some troubles with his balance, and we also think he's really blind now. He had cataract in his eyes. We already knew about it, and that his vision was a bit blurry, but we think he's practically blind now. So he's mostly struggling with his balance, and he often tends to be a bit clumsy, so he has to slow down a little bit and take it easy a bit and adapt around this new set of abilities. And that's a very good transition to the topic of this video. Everybody has his and her strengths and weaknesses, and for autistic people, and actually for everybody, it is very important to adapt around that set of abilities and strengths that you have. Of course, it's a good thing to learn new things and to expand your horizon and to work on your weaknesses. But sometimes there's these things that you find out that you just cannot do, and then it's just easier to accept that fact and to focus more on your strengths and build on that. On the internet I read a lot about autism and about therapies for autism and trainings, and they all a bit focused and pointed towards making a child look more neurotypical. For example, make him stim less, or encourage more eye contact and things like that. And I personally don't really encourage this. People with autism, their brains are just wired differently, and we perceive the whole world in a different way, and we will respond naturally to this in a different way as neurotypicals do as well. So if we are forced to or encouraged to respond to things in a neurotypical way, then that's extremely unnatural for us. For example, we don't choose to stim often, but we need to stim in order to be able to function and to deal with our environment. And the same counts for eye contact, which I made a whole video about. When we make eye contact during a conversation, we miss everything you say. So we might look neurotypical to you when we make eye contact, but in the meantime we miss everything you're saying. So in order to follow what you're saying, we need to look away. So it is better to stop focusing too much on things that we can't do or things that are too difficult for us, and just focusing on our strengths and abilities and gifts. I want to give you an example if you have a blind person, you're not gonna go around forcing him to read a normal book just because that looks normal or so. He has to read a Braille book because that's what he's gonna be able to do. So it's just important to accept that fact. That's the way he or she can function. And the same with people in a wheelchair. You're not gonna force him or her to use the stairs. A ramp to get into a building makes him able to function and to get into the building. So Pilaf is almost blind now, and he struggles a lot with his balance, and he's clumsy a lot, and because of his stroke, and his brain is just wired differently now. And we don't go around forcing him to walk on bumpy surfaces or let him climb around a lot. No, what we do is we adapt around his new set of abilities, and we put pillows around his play stand, for example, like you saw me doing in the beginning of this video, so that whenever he falls softly. And we focus on the positive and the good qualities that he has, and that is being extremely cuddly, and he always wants to cuddle and being a great companion while I'm working on my drawings. A lot of autistic people, they have quite some talents and gifts, and it's really important to focus on that instead of weaknesses. It's important for a person's well-being and health, but it's also very important for our society, because people, both autistic people, they can be a huge and positive asset for our society. In our working environment, for example, why would a boss force an autistic employee to pick up the phone the whole day? Wow, this is just too difficult and too stressful for an autistic person. It is not healthy for this employee to be focusing on something like that. It just makes him feel miserable. And for your business, it's not very positive either. Your autistic employee might be able to do other tasks with such perfection and accuracy, and it's just much healthier to focus on that instead of putting all the effort into something that's going to make your autistic employee feel just totally miserable, and it will make him not able to function at all. It's just not a logical thing to do. So for every autistic person, and also people without autism, actually for everybody, just focus on your strengths and your abilities. And you can, in the meantime, you can also work on your weaknesses, of course, but don't, if you find out that there's things that you cannot do, don't rule too much over that, because that costs a lot of energy, and it will also lower your self-esteem and put you in this downward spiral, negative spiral. It has a huge effect on your well-being. In the meantime, you can be really building on your talents and grow, and you get more self-esteem, and your well-being will grow because of that. And you will gain a lot of self-confidence and self-esteem. So this was it. I hope you found it useful and helpful. If you have any questions, please let me know in the comments below. You can also send me an email if you want to. Subscribe to my YouTube channel, I would say, to stay updated about my new videos. And you can also consider to become my patron on Patreon. For $1 a month, you can support me with this project You can also watch patron-only material, which is quite interesting. So this was it. Pilaf, you can hardly see him because he's sitting in the shadow. So Pilaf and I wish you a great day, and we hope to see you in our next videos again. Bye!